Okay, so if you create any kind of content for the web, you need to listen up. The ground is literally shifting right under our feet. The classic game of search? Yeah, that's over. A whole new one has just begun, and today we're going to crack the code on how to win it.
So let me just ask you this straight up. When someone asks ChatGPT or Google's AI for an answer, is your content showing up? Or is it basically invisible? Because let's be real, in this new world, if an AI can't find and understand you, you might as well not even exist.
And this slide, wow, it just lays out the fundamental shift perfectly. Over on the left, you've got traditional SEO. Remember that? The goal was simple. Get to #1 in a list of blue links, mostly using keywords. But now, look to the right. That's the new game, Generative Engine Optimization, or GEO. And here, the goal is totally different. It's not about ranking, it's about becoming the trusted source that's cited directly inside the AI's answer. We're moving from just pleasing an algorithm to achieving true AI comprehension.
Okay, so let's dive right into this new playbook. What exactly is this strategy that gets you cited by an AI?
So here's the formal definition. But really, GEO is all about making your content perfectly readable and trustworthy for an AI. You see, it's not about trying to trick an algorithm anymore. It's about actually teaching the AI that you are the expert on a topic so it chooses your information to build its answers.
I love this quote because it just nails it. You have to forget about being just another result on a page. The new goal, the real prize, is to become the AI's go-to, its favorite, most reliable source of information. So, how in the world do we do that?
Well, it all starts with a really crucial shift in how we think. We have to stop obsessing over keywords and start thinking in entities.
So what in the world is an entity, right? Well, it's actually pretty simple. An entity is just a thing, a distinct concept. It could be a person, a product, a place, an idea. It's not just a random string of words. It's a concept the AI can actually understand. This is the fundamental language these large language models use to build their entire map of the world.
And this image here is a perfect example of what we call an entity map. You see cold brew coffee right there in the center? That's our main topic, our primary entity. Then you see all these lines connecting it to related ideas, like coffee beans, different brewing methods, and even authorities on the subject, like the Specialty Coffee Association. An AI needs this context to truly understand the topic. You're not just writing about one thing, you're building a rich web of knowledge around it.
So, the whole process really boils down to these 3 key steps. First, you've got to identify your primary entity. What's the one main thing you're talking about? Second, you map out all the related concepts and authorities that give it some context. And third, and this is where the magic happens, you have to weave all of these entities and how they relate to each other naturally into your content. Okay, so once you have your entities all mapped out, how do you actually structure your writing so an AI can perfectly digest it? This is all about building for absolute clarity.
And I love this analogy. You have to write your content like you're briefing an incredibly smart but super literal research assistant. You know the type. There's just no room for ambiguity. You have to be direct, clear, and logical. And this table here, this is basically the perfect template. Just look at the structure. The title, it clearly states the primary entity, cold brew coffee. The H2 heading, it's framed as a direct question. And then, boom, the very first sentence gives a direct answer. Perfect for an AI to just grab and use. Finally, the body of the text backs it up by citing data from a real authority, like the Specialty Coffee Association. You see, every single part is designed for maximum AI clarity. Now for the slightly more technical part, but it's super important. To make all of this even more explicit for an AI, you can use something called schema markup. Think of it like a second layer of information, some code behind the scenes. It specifically tells the AI, hey, this chunk of text right here, that's an answer. Or this name here, that's an expert author. It's like you're adding invisible labels to your content so the AI can't possibly misinterpret what it's reading. All right, we're in the home stretch. So, you've optimized for entities, you've structured your content for clarity, but how do you know if any of it is actually working? Well, you can start with a simple audit, and this checklist is a great place to begin. Are you defining your primary entity right in the first paragraph? Are your headings questions with direct answers right below them? Are you citing credible sources? And notice that last one, readability. Keeping it simple is absolutely paramount, not just for your human audience, but for the AI, too. And the payoff for getting this right, it can be absolutely massive. This is the metric that matters now, AI citations.
This chart shows what can happen when you apply these GEO principles. You might go from just a few citations to nearly 30. That is what a win looks like. It means you've successfully become the AI's trusted source.
So let's bring it all home. If you want to win in this new era of search, you have to forget the old rules. The game is no longer about keywords and links. The entire strategy, everything we've talked about, boils down to these two words: clarity and authority. You have to be the clearest and most credible source of information out there.
And that really leaves us with one final, critical question to ask yourself about your own work. In the age of AI, is your content a definitive source of truth, or is it just another signal in the noise? The answer to that question is going to determine your future visibility.